When you think of a fortune teller, what do you see? Often, it is the image of a Romani woman. She might be looking into a crystal ball, or maybe she's holding your hand, tracing the lines on your palm. This picture is famous all over the world, and it comes from the Romani people. For centuries, these communities in Eastern Europe have been known for their psychic gifts. The story of the Romani people does not begin in Europe. It starts much further away, in northern India, more than 1,000 years ago. Linguistic and genetic evidence confirms their origins in regions like Rajasthan and Punjab, a people deeply rooted in the subcontinent's ancient traditions. The exact reasons for their departure around the 10th century are debated, but many historians believe they were displaced by violent invasions that destabilized the region. Some may have been warriors and their families taken west, while others were likely artisans and musicians who chose to leave, marking the beginning of a gradual exodus that would span centuries. They began a long, slow journey westward through Persia and the Byzantine Empire. This was not a single flight, but a meandering river of people. They traveled in family groups, or kumpanias, and their language, Romani, became a living map of their journey, absorbing words from Persian, Armenian, and Greek. They survived by their skills as metalworkers, horse traders, and entertainers. They were a people on the move, carrying their world with them, their unwritten laws, their rich oral traditions, and their deep spiritual beliefs. This internal world, centered on family and community, provided strength and continuity in a life of constant motion. By the 14th century, they had reached Eastern Europe. Here they found new lands, but also new challenges. Their different appearance and customs bred suspicion. They were mislabeled Egyptians, a name that evolved into the pejorative gypsy, and were wrongly associated with heretical sects, fueling fear among settled populations. They were treated as outsiders and were often persecuted, forced to continue their nomadic lifestyle. This mistrust culminated in one of history's most brutal and overlooked chapters, nearly 500 years of enslavement in what is now Romania. In other regions, their nomadism became a survival strategy. Yet through it all, their culture endured, held together by unbreakable family bonds and a fierce, resilient spirit. One of the best-known methods is palmistry, or reading the lines on a person's hand. A Romani fortune teller, often called a drabardi, would look at the lines of your palm. Another powerful tool is the reading of cards. Each card has a special meaning. The way the cards are laid out creates a story, and the fortune teller interprets this story. For the Romani people, dreams are messages from the spiritual world. Elders would listen to people's dreams and help them understand the hidden meanings. Throughout history, the Romani people have been both sought out for their supposed mystical abilities and persecuted for them. The powerful have often craved their foresight, yet feared the truths it might reveal. One such tale, passed down through generations, speaks of a Romani seer who sought an audience with a powerful, arrogant king. She didn't come asking for gold or favor, but to deliver a stark warning, a vision she claimed came from the earth itself. "Your fortress, built on pride," she declared, "will be humbled to rubble." The king, surrounded by his sycophantic court, saw her not as a prophetess, but as a vagrant. He mocked her simple clothes and her unwavering gaze, dismissing her prophecy as madness, and had her cast out from the city gates. But the earth does not heed the commands of kings. Exactly 7 days later, the ground began to tremble violently. The sky turned a sickly yellow, and with a deafening roar, the king's magnificent castle, a symbol of his unshakable power, collapsed into a mountain of stone and sorrow. The legend serves as a potent reminder that true power isn't held in stone walls, but in the unseen currents of fate. But these premonitions aren't just the stuff of grand historical legends. They are woven into the very fabric of Romani family life, intimate stories of survival passed from parent to child. Many families share a version of this story. A respected elder, a great-grandmother, sitting by the fire when suddenly her face pales. She feels a cold dread, a vision of rushing water where there should only be a dry riverbed. Without a full explanation, she commands everyone to pack. There's no time for questions. Her authority, born from a lifetime of wisdom, is absolute. The family, trusting her instinct, works with a frantic urgency, gathering their belongings and moving to higher ground, even as the sky remains deceptively calm. Her inexplicable vision, her deep connection to the whispers of nature, was their only guide. Just hours later, a sudden violent storm upstream unleashes a flash flood. A wall of water thunders through the valley, obliterating the very spot where their children had been playing. Her vision had saved them all from certain death, a testament to the protective power of intuition that runs deep within the community. This profound connection to the unseen world, however, has a shadow side. For every story of a life-saving vision, there is a cautionary tale about the power to harm. Where there is great power, there is also the potential for its misuse. The legends speak of curses, known in some traditions as Amria. These are not spells cast lightly. They are born from profound pain, from acts of deep betrayal or injustice. It's said that a person who has been grievously wronged, pushed to the very edge of their endurance, can channel their anguish into a powerful verbal declaration. This isn't about elaborate rituals. It's about the sheer force of will and emotion, focusing all of one's suffering onto the perpetrator. The curse might bring financial ruin, sickness, or a life plagued by relentless misfortune. It was seen as a last resort, a way for the powerless to find justice when none was offered by the outside world. But even this power is bound by its own laws. The elders warn that such a curse, once unleashed, can stain the soul of the one who casts it. It is a heavy burden to carry, a fire that can consume both the target and the sender. This is why protection, through amulets and prayers, is just as important as any other spiritual practice, guarding not only against the ill will of others, but also against the temptation of one's own darkness. Fortune-telling was not just mystical art, it was a practical way to earn a living without needing land or a workshop. When a young girl learned to read cards from her grandmother, she was receiving a piece of her heritage. This shared culture created powerful bonds within families, making them stronger against outside pressures. The elders, who were skilled healers or seers, were deeply respected, serving as counselors, doctors, and judges. Today, the fascination with Romani psychic legends is as strong as ever. In our hyper-connected digital age, these ancient traditions represent a powerful counter-narrative, one of wisdom, intuition, and a profound connection to a world beyond our immediate senses. From tarot readings in bustling city markets to online consultations reaching a global audience, the allure is undeniable. However, this popular fascination often walks a fine line between appreciation and appropriation. The romanticized image of the mysterious fortune teller, a staple in film and literature, frequently overshadows the deep cultural and spiritual significance these practices hold for the Romani people themselves. It's a complex legacy where commercial interest meets a genuine human yearning for guidance. In response, a powerful movement is rising. A new generation of Romani activists, scholars, and artists are harnessing the tools of the modern world to reclaim their narrative. They are working tirelessly to preserve their rich heritage and share it with the world, but on their own terms. Through digital archives, online language courses, and powerful social media campaigns, they are challenging centuries of stereotypes and misinformation. This isn't just about correcting the record, it's an act of cultural survival and revitalization. They are ensuring that the stories of their elders are not lost, and that their traditions are understood not as exotic novelties, but as a vital, living part of their identity. And what a destiny it has been. These legends and divinatory arts have survived for 1,000 years, carried across continents through diaspora, persecution, and immense hardship. Their endurance is a testament to their power. They speak to a fundamental human need to find meaning in the chaos, to feel a sense of agency in the face of the unknown. In every era, from the feudal village to the sprawling metropolis, people have sought answers to the same timeless questions. Who am I? Where am I going? What does it all mean? These traditions offer a framework for introspection, a language for the soul's deepest inquiries. Ultimately, The enduring legacy of these practices lies in this shared human quest. The desire to connect with the great mystery of life, to believe that we have the power to navigate our own path, is a force that transcends culture and time. This is the real magic. It's not about predicting an unchangeable future, but about empowering the present. It's the magic of human connection forged in the space of a reading, the resilience of a people who kept their light of hope burning in the darkest of times, and the profound realization that our future is not simply a destination to be discovered, but a story we are actively writing every single day. That is a kind of magic that will never fade away.